Good morning. Good morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Whether we have COVID-19, we got the flu, or whatever we got, or whatever you call it, this is the day that the Lord has made. We ought to rejoice in it and be glad. And the Bible says, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. He didn't say that to rejoice in the Lord when times are good. Because when times are good or times are bad, it doesn't matter. Because God is still the same. So at this time, we come to celebrate Jesus. Yes, even Lord, we come to celebrate and lift up His name this morning. And as we enter into His presence, I'd like to just pause for a moment of prayer, and then Sister Prosper will come up and she'll lead us in some songs of worship this morning. And please open your hearts and open your minds to what the Spirit of the Lord wants to do in this place today. Because no matter what's taking place around us, we serve a God who does great and mighty things. We serve a God who does amazing things. So let's focus solely on Him this morning. Thank you, oh gracious Father, that you have chosen to allow our footsteps to walk into this place this morning. And you know, I like to say it's not by luck, accident, chance, or coincidence why we're here. But Father God, we're in this place by divine appointment because you ordered it to be so. And because you ordered it to be so, you had a good purpose there, God, for it to be so. So, Lord God, we just come in this time to you in thanksgiving and praise. Because, Lord God, we know that your hand is all powerful. Your hand does great and mighty things, Almighty God. And when we look to you, we know that, dear God, there's no way that we'll ever be disappointed. So, Lord God, it's all about you. It's all about you, what you desire to accomplish, dear God, to us. We thank you for these willing hearts who have come here this morning. They come here, Lord, just like me. They come here, Lord, because we decided we want to be about you today. So, Lord God, we submit ourselves to you, to whatever you decide to do. So, Lord, we know that when we leave this place, that we will be edified, and you will be glorified, and you will be magnified, oh God. And we declare it all in the name of every other name. Jesus Christ of Nazarene. Amen.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it.
Yeah.
many things. Even though times are hard, whoever may be watching or listening to this service, God is still amazing. He still reigns. He is still on the throne. belongs to you. My hallelujah belongs to you.
There is nothing impossible with God. In His word,
of a mustard seed, you can command a mountain to move and it will move. So we just want to thank God this morning because our hallelujahs belong to Him. Our worship belongs to Him. Our praises belong to Him. For He alone allows us to be here. We don't have to be a full house to praise God because in His word He said when 2 or 3 are gathered, in my name there I may be also. So this morning we thank God for life. We thank God for health. We thank God for the opportunity to be in His presence this morning. As we come to prayer, we're going to have our brother lead us into prayer. And if you have a need, for those watching, for those who are here, bring it to God this morning. Your friend may not be able to help you. Your neighbor may not be able to help you. They may not understand. And some of them will put your secrets out there, but God will keep your secret. And He will give you a solution.
You have kept each and every one of us in our own time, in our own growth, Lord. You've kept mothers and children and families together, Lord. And we give you praise this morning for that, Father God. We thank you. We thank you, Lord, for Calvary's cross this morning and the blood that was shed for us. We thank you this morning, Father God, for the stripes that were on his back, Lord. They healed us. Every category of sickness and disease was placed in those stripes, Father God, and we give you praise. We give you glory this morning. You said, be not afraid, only believe. And we are believers, Lord. We have come together because we are believers in our Savior. We are believers in our God. We are thankful for Him, and we praise you this morning, Lord Jesus. Oh, thank you, Lord, for being who you are. Oh, Lord, we lift up our families to you. We lift up our lives to you, Lord. Because without you, we can do nothing, you said, Jesus, and we thank you. We thank you that we have you and that you have us. You said our names are written in the palms of your hand, and they are. That no one can pluck us out of your hand. You said that the adversary comes and he might steal, kill, and destroy. But you said, I am come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. And we thank you for abundant life this morning, Father God. We thank you for abundant life. We thank you for health. We thank you for strength. Thank you, Lord. We thank you for your favor, your grace. It shows on our lives each and every day. You wake us up, not the clocks, but you wake us up. And we thank you for that, Lord. You put breath in our lungs every morning to rise and go and finish and walk the race that you set before us. This is for that day. You said, my grace is sufficient. And we thank you, Lord. Your grace is still sufficient. The blood still saves. Thank you, Lord. The stripes of Jesus' back still heal. And we are your children. We are the sheep of your pasture. We are your sheep, Lord Jesus. And you are our shepherd. You are our good shepherd, and we give you praise this morning, Lord. We ask you to continue, Father God, to hold on to us. Hold on to your family. Hold on to families. Hold on to our children. Hold on to our grandchildren. Keep them, Lord. Keep them, Lord. Cause them to grow up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Father God, we ask. Let our children be godly men and women who seek godly men and women to fellowship with and to love and to marry. Let our grandchildren, Lord, if we don't ever see it in our age, Lord God, let them grow up to be godly men and women. And we'll give you praise, Lord. We'll give you glory, Father God. We'll give you honor because you are who you are. You are the God of our salvation. And this day, Lord, we give you all the praise, all the glory for opening our doors to this sanctuary today, Lord, that we would come and give you praise. So Lord, we ask you today, be glorified in us, be magnified in us, in our families, in our own personal relationships with you, Lord. Because you know what's going on with each and every one of us. Others may not know what you know. And we ask for help, Lord. In those areas that we struggle, Lord, we ask for help. And we know that you're the helper. We thank you, Holy Spirit. You're the comforter. And we are comforted this day. We lift it all to the throne of heaven. And we say thank you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Then Boaz went up to the city's gate and sat down there, and behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz had spoken came by. He said to him, "Hold, turn aside and sit down here." So he turned aside and sat down. And Boaz took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, "Sit down here," and they sat down. And he said to the kinsman, "Naomi, who has returned from the country of Moab, has sold the parcel of land which belonged to our brother Elimelech. And I thought to let you hear of it, saying, buy it in the presence of those sitting here and before the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, redeem it. But if you will not redeem it, then say so, that I may know, for there is no one besides you to redeem it, and I am next of kin after you." And he said, "I will redeem it." Then Boaz said, "The day you buy the field of Naomi, you must buy also Ruth the Moabitess, the widow of the dead man, to restore the name of the dead man to his inheritance." And the kinsman said, "I cannot redeem it for myself, lest by marrying a Moabitess I endanger my own inheritance. Take my right of redemption yourself, for I cannot redeem it." Now, formerly in Israel, this was the custom concerning redeeming and exchanging. To confirm the transaction, a man put off his sandal and gave it to the other. This was the way of attesting in Israel. Therefore, when the kinsman said to Boaz, "Buy it for yourself," he pulled off his sandal. And Boaz said to the elders and all the people, "You are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's from the hand of Naomi. Also Ruth the Moabitess, the widow Mahlon, I have bought to be my wife, to restore the name of the dead to his inheritance, that the name of the dead may not be cut off from among his children and from the gate of his birthplace. You are witnesses this day And all the people at the gate and the elders said, we are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your house like Rachel and Leah, the two who built the household of Israel. May you do worthily and get wealth in Ephrathah and be famous in Bethlehem. And let your house be like the house of Perez who came out to Judah because of the offspring which the Lord will give you by this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife, and he went into her. And the Lord caused her to conceive, and she bore a son. And the woman said to Naomi, blessed be the Lord who has not left you this day without a close kinsman, and may his name be famous in Israel. And may he be to you a restorer of life and nourish you and support you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law who loves you is better to you than 7 sons was born him. Then Naomi took the child and laid him in her bosom and became his nurse. And her neighbor women gave him a name, saying, a son is born to Naomi. They named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David, the ancestor of Jesus Christ. Now these are the descendants of Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron, Hezron of Ram, Ram of Aminadab, Aminadab of Nashon, Nashon of Salmon, Salmon of Boaz, Boaz of Obed, Obed of Jesse, and Jesse of David, the ancestor of Jesus Christ. Let us pray. We thank you this morning, Father, for your word that you're sending forth, not only to this church, but to everyone who will listen. You're sending your word to the world, Almighty God. We pray that there will be receptive hearts, oh God, to hear what you have to say today. And Lord God, we just commit this time to you. We pray you give your servant the unction, may God, to speak truth. That, Lord, my God, hearts and lives will be impacted by what you would choose to allow your servant to say. And at the end of this moment, we give you the honor, glory, and praise in Jesus' precious name. Amen. God has chosen a very significant day to deliver a message on Mother's Day. On Mother's Day, God has decided to reveal to the world what's on his mind. The message to women who are pregnant. The message to women who are of childbearing age. The message to young women who have not yet come to childbearing age. The message is this: leave those babies alone. You don't know, mothers. You don't know when a woman is pregnant who is in her womb. God gave man the power to be able to name all of his animals. God brought the animals to Adam, and he named the animals. But God took special delight in you, and he chose to invite you to partner with him to bring forth life into the world. We have Ruth, a Moabite woman, a woman who came from a land that they had problems with the children of Israel. But she was married into an Israelite family. And when she left Moab to come to Bethlehem, the last that was on her mind was that she was going to be involved in a drama that was going to impact all of us. Hundreds of years later, we are impacted by this heathen woman because God chose sovereignly to include her in the plan of redemption. So Ruth left Moab and she came to Bethlehem, not understanding that God has chosen her for a very significant place in the redemption of mankind. And so she came to Bethlehem, and the first thing she did was she looked to find a job. And when she found a job, she ended up in the field of a man named Boaz, and Boaz happened to be a relation to her mother-in-law. And so, as God would arrange it, she ended up being married to this Israelite man. And she became the mother of a boy named Obed. And Obed was the father of Jesse, who was the father of David, who was the father of Jesus Christ, David's greatest son. God is not pleased with all of these babies that's being aborted. Because you don't know what God had in mind when he put that baby in a mother's womb. You had no idea. When people saw this Moabite woman come to Bethlehem, they had no idea that God ordered her footsteps because he had a plan for her life. So it does say in Matthew chapter 1, verse 1, it says, Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham, come from the womb of a Gentile woman. God used her in his plan of salvation. We hear it said so often that it's okay to have an abortion because people went through all kinds of trauma and they want to forget the trauma that they went through, so just get rid of the baby and the trauma, hopefully that will be behind you, but it's not so. Nobody tells you the trauma that women go through after they have an abortion, the mental and the psychological and the physical trauma that they endure because that they had to went through this process of abortion. God knows how many scientists we have killed. God knows how many people might have had the cure for COVID-19 that we have flushed down the drain. And God is saying, I'm not pleased with this. I'm not pleased with this. You've got to stop doing it because one of the things you must understand about God is that you can provoke God to anger. You don't know what my plan is for this child that I put in a woman's womb. You don't know what my plan is for this child. Just leave my business with that baby alone, because I know what that baby is going to be coming in the future. You don't know. So God brought Obed into the world, and Obed was the descendant of Jesus Christ himself, the Savior of the world. Can't get any better than that. Can't get any higher than that. Yes. That people say, well, as I go back to, he says, she was violated. Can I say this to you? There's nobody that has ever been violated in the history of mankind as Jesus Christ himself. The Bible said he became sin for us, so that we might become the righteousness of God in Christ. The Bible said that he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities, the chastening of our well-being fell upon him, and with his scourging we are healed. Nobody in all the history of man has ever had to endure the suffering and the anguish and the agony that Jesus Christ had to endure because of man's sin. But when Jesus was on the cross, and in those days when they crucified a man, they crucified him naked. And when he was on the cross and he had to endure the shame of his nakedness and have to endure all the cruelty that was placed upon him, he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. The first process that a woman should go through that's been violated is to seek healing. And the most effective way of finding healing is offering forgiveness. Stephen, when he was stoned to death, he said, before he died, he said, Lord, lay not this sin to their charge. Ladies think that they have a hard time because they've been violated. Jesus is willing to forgive. And every time we come to Christ and we confess Christ as our Lord and Savior, Jesus is still willing to forgive. So the first process of healing is to be able to forgive. And let Christ come into your heart. Let Christ come into your heart and restore you to what you were before. But don't use the excuse that, well, I have to get rid of this because I can't have to stand to live with this kind of agony that's inflicted upon me. But here's what I want to tell you. There is a man named James Robinson. James Robinson, mother, got violated. She was raped when she was 16 years old. She contemplated having an abortion, but she chose to have the baby instead. Can I tell you what God made James Robinson to become? James Robinson became a famous evangelist leading millions of people to Jesus Christ. What would happen if his mother had aborted him? All of those souls that are in heaven today that will run up to him one day when he arrives in heaven and say, well, Brother James, thank you for preaching the gospel to me. If his mother had aborted him, more than likely they would not have heard the gospel. James Robinson has a program every day called Life Today. And they go all over the world and they supply clean water to nations. They feed hungry kids across the world. And someday some of these kids, when they grow up, they'll probably become famous evangelists just like him, or they'll become president of nations just like him, or they might come with a cure for COVID-19. And it goes on and on and on and on. What happened if his mother had went through and aborted him? How many lives would not have been impacted by this man today? Then you have Gloria James. She got pregnant at 16. And And she tried to take care of her son. She had a lot of problems taking care of her son. And she had to give him to somebody else to help her with him. And the person that she gave him to introduced him to basketball. The world knows who LeBron James is. 16-time, played in the All-Star game, won like 3 championships, made a name for himself. But that's not all that LeBron James is famous for. LeBron James is famous because he built a school. And those kids that go to that school, they go to that school tuition free. Could you imagine what people must have said to Gloria James when 16 years old, especially at that time when LeBron James was born? Could you imagine what they said to Gloria James at that time? Because you know there was a time when you were a certain age, you were pregnant, you got to hide. Because being pregnant at a young age was like a shameful thing. So you imagine what that woman had to endure. But she chose to have the baby. And this world is a different place today because she chose to have the baby. People make fun about her, the politicians, they would say that President Reagan likes to talk about the welfare queens, and you know who he's talking about. But hear what? One of those welfare queens, God came and helped her. And look what her son is today. There's another woman that was named Susanna Wesley. And Susanna Wesley, she was the mother of 19 kids and 7 of them died. But she had 2 sons who were famous. John Wesley, who preached the doctrine of holiness. And when you walk into the church of Nazarene, you notice that emblem that says holiness unto the Lord. John Wesley's brother wrote thousands of songs that bless the body of Christ. What would we be today if John Wesley's mother had chosen to abort him? For those who were choose to stick with it and have their babies, I want to tell you something. There's a crown. There's a crown waiting for you. And the crown is all the lives that God has used your kids to touch. John Wesley used to travel 40,000 miles every year to preach the gospel. And now the gospel of holiness, the message of holiness is around the world. So God is saying to us today, for those of you who have a hard time, for those of you who've been violated, first of all, learn how to forgive. Second, seek to have a relationship with Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He's the ultimate healer. He knows how to heal your wounded soul. He knows how to bring and restore your joy. He knows how to let you know how wonderful he is, this same man who suffered all this abuse just for us. If Jesus could do that, what would it cost you to forgive? What would it cost cost you to forgive the one that violated you? What would it cost you if Jesus endured the suffering and the anguish of the cross? What would it cost you? And when you come to Christ, you can go on to glory. How would LeBron James' mother Gloria, how would she feel when she walked by the school and see all those kids playing in the yard? And someday, some of those kids rise up to be great men and women, not just in this country, but in the world. How would she feel? I suffered and I struggled, but you know what? It's worth it. I remember when I was a little baby child, my mother told me the story about the fact that my mother we didn't have any money. So my mother could take me to the doctor. And she used to take me to church every single day. Every single day my mother would take me to a church and she would pray over me. And one night she was coming home late. And one of the grave diggers stopped my mother and said, "Madam, would you want to sell that child?" And she said, "No, I don't want to sell my child." She didn't have money to take care of you. So the only person that she could rely on had to trust God. But here I am, 73 years later, serving God. But that wasn't the greatest blessing. The greatest blessing was one day they called me when my mother was in a nursing home, and they said, "You got to come because your mother don't have long." And I remember my sister used to come to this church, and I called her and I said, my mother's not doing good. And she said, "What we do is every 5 o'clock every morning, we'll get up and we'll pray for your mother's soul, that your mother will come to know Christ." And this day I walked into the room and I started talking to my mother said, "You know, Sam, I feel like I need to know Jesus Christ." I said, "Do you feel like you want to know him as your personal Savior?" She said, "Yes." And I led my mother to the sinner's prayer, and after the sinner's prayer, my mother's tongue started getting heavy and heavier and heavier and heavier. And she just slowly and quietly died. And so on Sunday I went to church and I came to the place where my mother was staying. And the lady said the lady was in charge of the convent, she said, "I can't find the man who's supposed to conduct your mother's funeral. Would you mind doing it?" I hesitated with my brother said, "No, you should." So I got to conduct my mother's funeral. And at the time I had a viral infection. Anybody who had suffered from a viral infection know how that stuff will do to you. I never suffered in my life like that. But God gave me the strength to be able to conduct my mother's funeral and take the coffin to the graveyard, and we had to go over all kinds of obstacles to get to that little hole in the ground to plant my mother in it. But my mother had the privilege of knowing that before she died, her son led her to Christ. And not only that, but committing her body to the ground. There are people that I want to share with you this morning. God is serious. God is not joking. God is serious about all these babies that we are aborting their lives. And we have the Supreme Court sanctioning it. COVID-19 is not an accident. COVID-19 is a message. unpleasant. It's a message. People say, well, you know what? God don't do that. Yes, he does. Remember when the children of Israel were leaving Egypt to go to the promised land? Remember that? Remember when Pharaoh didn't want to release the children of Israel to go and worship God and what God did? All the plagues that he let go in Egypt. You had to read about Korah's rebellion, how that man and his family rebelled against the leadership of Moses. And God showed up one day, opened the ground, and sent him down to hell alive. God is a loving God, but a loving God hates sin. And a loving God will at some time deal with sin. A loving God at some time will deal with America about its behavior. When I first came to this country, we used to talk about the fact that Las Vegas never sleeps. They used to talk about the fact that New York City, oh my, New York City never sleeps. And guess what happened? One time, Las Vegas was dark and New York City was dark because God decided it was so. I know this ain't blessed, but guess what? That's my job to say what he told me to say. Because somehow it's going to get out in the air somewhere, and people who didn't think they would hear it end up hearing it. Because what is this? This is a warning. This is a warning. Our leaders can't figure out what to do. One minute they say, okay, it's going to end by July, and next thing you say, next year. They don't know. The only person that knows what's going on with this COVID-19 is God himself. And then God decides to speak from the throne and says, okay, stand down. COVID-19 has to stand down because Revelation 16 says that God has power over all the plagues. So this might seem like it's simple this morning, but can I tell you something? God's putting it out there. God's putting it out there. This is what's stirring up my wrath. And if you don't get this stuff right, something else is coming. You know, they have some kind of a bee or something like that, right? we thought we had one problem, but all of a sudden another one's coming, right? Because you see, we have to know. We have to know. This is not about you. I don't care all the technological breakthroughs that you think you have. It's not about you. It's about me. So this is what the Lord laid on my heart to speak about today. We got to stop this. I didn't say so, but he told me that that's what I have to say. We got to stop this stuff, because if we don't stop this stuff, you know what he told me, Sister Elizabeth? He said, God, America is hanging by a string. A string is not that strong. You pull on it, it's bound to come apart. And what he's saying, I had enough of this stuff. And if you don't stop, we'll see what's coming next. And you know what they said? Because they opening up the stage for business, now more people are becoming infected. So dear saints of God, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here for us, with us. And trust in God when you take us to places that we cannot begin to think or imagine. And so Thank you for your patience. But I had to do what God told me to do. And it's not a pleasant thing, you know, because one of these days I have to stand before him and I have to say, I didn't do what you told me to do. And he would say, well, there's consequences to you not doing what I told you to do. Because usually, when God sent a prophet to give a message, people didn't like it. But they did their jobs. And I got to do mine. Let us stand. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this day that, Lord God, that you chose to speak in a very significant day. And so, Lord God, you know how to take your word and you know what to do with it. And so we pray that, Lord God, you take your word and you use it, Almighty God, in ways that only you alone know and only you alone can. And so, Lord, we just give you all the honor and glory and praise, dear God, for what you choose, dear God, to do in this church and how you choose for us to go. And Lord, I understood when you called me, I understood, dear God, that I was never going to be popular. I understood that, Lord, my God, I could get tarred and feathered and run out the church. I understood that. I understood that, Lord God, it could cost me my life to say what you designed me to say. So, and I surrendered myself to your holy and marvelous will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Now unto him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we can ask or think, according to his power that works within us, to him be the glory in the church and in Christ Jesus to all generations, now and forever. And let God's people say, amen. God bless you.